introduce Reverend Carol Zukosky with A Space for Grace. She's just making sure you're awake.
Good morning. We got a little time before the afternoon. It's wonderful to see all of you, and I want to thank Dean and everyone here at Unity for inviting me to come and speak. Um, I just see so many familiar, wonderful faces, friends, and um, friends I haven't seen in a very long time, and then new friends that are here today. I want to welcome all of you. You know, I get to choose the topic, and I love having this opportunity because sometimes we say something, but it doesn't go very deep. Like I talk about grace and being in grace, and you all have your own relationship to that. So today I thought maybe we would deconstruct a little bit and see what fits for you. So this time is an offering. It's not a talk. I can't talk at you. But I can offer you a big, beautiful grace pizza. And if it's good, you'll take a piece. But find something, if you will, that really resonates with you. I'm going to have to adjust this, excuse me. How's that? Is that better? Can you still hear me? Okay, thank you. Yeah, we don't want to hear all the pops and everything. But anyway, so A Space for Grace, I just want to say I have loved this experience because it reminds me who I am. So we are here now. We are held and we move in grace. Grace is given to us. We do not have to earn it. It's about an awareness of who we really are, that aspect of the oneness, and settling into that and embodying that. You know, when we began as little teeny tiny ones, we came in and we just were grace. And anybody around that received that birth, I know all of you have had probably some experience with that, holding a baby and that innocence. That beauty, that moment is grace. And you can recognize it. You can go, wow, miracle. This is fantastic. And we know that there's grace by, oh, I was going to say this. So many ways we know there's grace. There's so many ways that we can forget that there's grace. And just our breath, the way we move, our magnificent bodies, how the organs work, how relationships work, how the beauty is outside or the rain, all of it is there, but it's so easy to forget. It's easy to forget because we have a lot of noise in our world right now. In our world, our world. And we often can get distracted. And I'll say we, but I'm usually talking about me. And we can get distracted, but often we are offered so much information. And it feels like we need to listen and really take it in because maybe there's something to do. But all that information that is coming from the outside can really distract how we are connected and how we move. And to be moving, to be in the oneness means to be embodied in knowing we are connected. We are all connected. Um, there's a frequency um, of awareness, and it's a vibrational field. Like right now, we're in a field. And I like to remember that we're always in a field, whether we recognize it or not, but each one of you have a vibration or um, kind of a song that you are singing from the inside. And that vibration is your GPS, your grace positional system. And the grace positional system helps me to remember there's a satellite in GPS. There's also a satellite in our self. So that satellite that has an attunement or a frequency. Now there's a lot of satellites out there right now, aren't there? There's just a lot of information, a lot of ways to connect. What if we settle into the things that we value, the things that we hope for, the things that are alive in us? So we're at choice. We're at choice about what GPS, grace positional system, you are tuning in. So what is the thing that matters to you? Is it harmony? Is it peace? Is it creativity? Just take a moment and ask, what is my GPS? What am I tuning into? Because once you decide that, you can feel when you're off by your body. Your body will feel contracted, or you might have a little heart contraction, or confusion. These are all signals that we are off our GPS. It's so important then to remember who we really are. What are the values? What do we really care about? What brings us joy in life? And when you remember that, and you take in a breath, and you find some space within yourself, grace is already there. Grace is already moving. The space for grace is actually right here now. I saw this video with Brother David Stindl Rost, and he's a beautiful Catholic monk. And his relationship with grace is that he is a gratitude specialist, I would say, but he knows that those two come together. Because when you are grateful, it's a way to shift your energy, to align yourself to the good that is. I mean, think about it. Not only our bodies, but this planet and the water that we have. Even the things like the electricity that we have in our house, the water we wash our hands with, all the modern conveniences, for us here, that is a piece of grace. A lot of people don't have that. So remembering what are the good things in your life anchors you to this knowing that we belong, that there is the space that we're already in. So Brother David was talking to Jack Kornfield, and he's a Buddhist American teacher, just wonderful human being. And he said, let me tell you a little bit about grace for me. He said, when I was young, I had a younger definition. He said, I was brought up Catholic, and for me, I learned to pray at the side of my bed. And I had an idea that grace was like little bottles in an apothecary from God. So I could pray for someone's health, or I could pray for a good grade in school, or I could pray that I want a puppy, or I can pray that I am a good person. But each one was a bottle. And if I prayed, that was delivered to me. He said, but as I grew and I observed, I added to that. I added to that definition to know grace might be that cat that is walking on the shelf. And he said, I noticed how they moved. There was just this sweet movement, and there were things on the shelf, and they would avoid it. And they would be able to jump just beautifully. And then he said, and I remembered then the ballerinas or any dancer or even me as a dancer. There's grace in that. Then I looked at the birds and the trees moving, and I realized, oh, wow, I believe grace is a movement. Brother David said, grace is a movement. And he said that is the life force that is moving through you. And it needs to be tended. It needs to be cared for. How do we find grace? You have to stop long enough to feel and to become aware, become present. I rescued a cat named Mr. Charlie Swirl last year. And he was an outdoor cat, but he came to me and he started having this, like, every time he breathed in and out, he would have a wheezing sound for everything. And I went out there one day and he's laying there. Now, I said, God, I'm not going to rescue any more cats unless they come to me. Well, at my front door, Mr. Charlie Swirl was there. So my husband and Michael and I took him to the vet. And the vet said, you know, it does not look good for Charlie. And I said, well, give us what you have and we are going to take care of him. And I thought, even if it's the end of his life, I want him to know he is loved and cared for. So we took him back, and over the next 3 months, it was touch and go. We did not know. I was giving him breathing treatments. I was giving him an IV, you know, and I was working with my vet who would give me medicine and consulting because I just didn't know what was going on with him. But the thing about Charlie is he had great personality. He was so present. He was alert and just the sweetest little boy, and he loved me so very much. Well, I'm not going to give up on Charlie. So 3 months went by, and he started to get better and better. And then there was a point where, wow, he's ready to go to another home. I already have 5 cats, so I did need to find him another home. But I was really worried, so I did a secret prayer inside of myself. And I said, God, one, you know I'm going to need someone that will be so kind and take care of Charlie as well as I did. Now, I realized that that was a big ask. That was a big bottle to ask. But I said, he is most wonderful. And then secretly, and I didn't tell Michael, I thought, well, if no one gets him, I'll take him. But really, my heart knew that he needed to be a cat that was beloved in a family where it was the one, you know, the main one. So I made a video with a darling little girl, Avery, and we had taken lots of beautiful pictures. He had a big swirl on the side, and he was full of personality. He loved to play. We got a lot of that, and we made a video. And at the end of the video, I said, this cat is for a very special home, for very special people. And you will know who you are, and just give us a call. So within 4 or 5 days, I got a call from a young family, Ashton and Bethany, these young people, you know, early 20s, trying to make their way in life, called me, and Charlie was next to me breathing. He still breathed like that. But he was well. He just will always have this really noisy breath. And I said, oh, did you like that video? And they're like, yeah. And they said, we heard that he had a sound. And then Charlie, of course, they're like, we're hearing that now. So I told him what was going on with Charlie. And I said, you know, I understand if this is not for you. And the young man said, I think he is for me. So they came and met Charlie. And over a few visits, they became his friend. And they took him home. And he could not have more care and more love. So what was the grace for me? The grace was this impulse to go ahead and save this cat and put myself out there and serve him and make it a part of my life and know that he may make it or he may not, but it doesn't matter that I am fully engaged. He's present, I'm present, and we have an awareness that life is precious and moving. That Charlie is now, he was 8 pounds when he left. He is now 15 pounds. And he has more toys than you can imagine. He is a beloved cat. So the frequency that we are tuning to in matter. So I love Grace Positional System because when you're discouraged, when you've had something happen that is unexpected, maybe there's a loss in your life. It can feel like, I don't know, in my body, I feel the energy like going everywhere, and I get confused and overwhelmed. But when I bring myself back to remember what are the values, what are the things I really care about? I care about connecting with people, my friends and my family. I care about joy. I care about creativity. I care about love. And in my prayer closet, within myself, I land and stay quiet. And I can feel kind of like the radio, you know, those old-fashioned radios where you can hear it going up and down, the signal, the frequencies. I can feel almost my energetic body tuning in because now it has a station. It has a station for me. And when I feel that, I settle. I feel grounded. I feel connected. It's something that you do all the time. Think of where you feel grace. Where do you see grace in your life? It takes space. You take a moment and take in a breath. And the simplest things, watching the birds fly. We had 14 different kinds of birds in our backyard one day. Oh, I have an app that measures that. I was enthralled. I couldn't believe it. I heard all the bird songs. That was a piece of grace. Getting up in the morning and be able to get out of bed. To go outside and feel the fresh air. To notice the rain or the sun. Think about where you are noticing grace. Grace is a movement like Brother David talked about. It's a movement within you. We're alive and moving all the time. Every cell is being enlivened. All your blood is coursing through your veins. If you think about it, it's just a movement that we're here. It looks like we're solid, but we're not. We're always flexing. So what frequency do you want to tune into? What is your space for grace? This is such a beautiful crowd. You don't see yourselves, but there's an energy field here. And as I'm speaking, I feel like there's an exchange. There's a connection with each and every one of you. And then connections everywhere else. And this whole place feels like kind of a conduit now, an energetic field. It does feel like a space of grace. It's almost like that idea of tuning forks when we find our space. And it can be 100 times a day. We can move in and out of it. I mean, we're human. We're going to be tested. We're going to walk through things that are difficult or challenging. But when you tune yourself back to love, to appreciating your body and your heart, to your breath in and out, when you tune back into that, you are vibrating at a certain frequency, and like a tuning fork that is just rightly tuned, you start to attract others. And as other people are standing in your area, your space, they start to vibrate their song. This is the connection that we are making here today. This is the connection you make with your loved ones. This is the connection with your friends, community, and so on. So, you are here now in grace. You are being held in grace. And you do move in grace. We're just going to take a moment to kind of visit this within ourselves, and I'll ask you a few questions, but we'll do a little quieting. If you want to close your eyes, we're going to take a few breaths and just feel them going deeper a few times in and out. And bring your attention to your heart. And feel that energy around your heart, around your chest. Just locate that space. And what I'd like you to do is bring in something you love, someone you love, a place that you love. And if you can envision it or feel into it, you let that heart breathe now. Breathe in and out of the heart. Keeping that image or that feeling, that one thing that makes your heart sing. And so now I will ask you a question. As your heart is singing, you can drop that vision and stay with your breath. What are the things that you value in life? What are the things that bring you joy, harmony, peace? What do you value? And now I invite you to take one of those values and ask yourself, how would that show up in my life? Just one of them. How would I walk with that idea of harmony, peace, love? Can you take that one idea this week, an everyday walk, and discover that you are the space for grace? And when you're ready, open your eyes. So grace is, we are, this is a space for grace. I know for each of you that you find your own way, and we are all vibrating together to feel good in our life, to meet things that are difficult, but come back home to that which sustains and holds you. You are connected to the divine, and in oneness, we know that we are here, we are held, and we move in grace. And I want to thank you. Thank you.